All right, let me explain viewer game analysis to you, and then
Try the command.
I'm going to explain it again. Why don't you try it? I'm not even there.
All right.
All right.
I was just.
Like I want to. We have a new command that Karen just did. It's not working too good. Yeah.
Wait, why
Yeah, that's not connected
Oh,
to
that's
that.
not the.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot of computers here. We have more computers than atoms in the universe. Okay, let me explain viewer game analysis. I explain it every stream, and then eventually I just stop doing it because you guys can't hear or something. Nobody has any right to have their game analyzed. I analyze the games I want. So if you put a game there, you might have it analyzed, but I doubt it. And if you really want it to get analyzed and you want to be 100% sure, the more you donate, the more I analyze it. Now, the other thing is a couple of you didn't put the names, didn't put who was playing. And one of you wrote a sonnet about your game. Yeah, don't do that. Don't write like, I was 12 years old and I stubbed my toe and then I went to the board and there was a beautiful girl sitting next to me, but she was 18 and I was 12, and then we decided to make a movie and call it Licorice Pizza. I don't want to hear any of that. Okay, just put your game on. So two of you didn't put the names in the PGN because they weren't PGNs, like this one. And then for this one, the guy wrote a novella about like my name is this and that and that. And the other one, which is this one, bam. I guess it wasn't that one. What did I do wrong? Anyway, you're all banned is the idea. Now let's look at the game. It's Crispy's White. It's a Sicilian. It's an open Sicilian. And now the most common moves are the Knight Orphan, the Dragon. I would play Knight C6. Also E6 and E5 are played on occasion. But he played A6. Big money, no $25.
Thank you, Ninja.
The more you donate. Okay, so this is the Knight Orph invented by
Knight Orph.
Right.
Miguel?
Miguel. Okay, where was he born?
Did it. Uh-oh. I don't know. Germany?
I'll give you a hint. Okay, you want a hint? It's where Hikaru is.
Right now?
Yep.
Poland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Poland. And then, because of things that were not so good at the time, if you know what I mean, he moved to South America.
Okay. I
Yeah.
remember that story now.
Also, he did business in Michigan occasionally, but I never saw him there because I wasn't born yet. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Knight Orph tried to get his whole family to come. And if you read about him on Wikipedia, it's very sad. Yeah. We were watching CNN yesterday, and by we, I mean I was. And Karen was, I don't know, I was buying shoes or something. But anyway, and then I'm watching CNN, I'm like falling asleep, and Kasparov comes on. And they're like, Kasparov, what do you think about the Ukraine? And he said the Ukraine is weak and so forth. Okay. Now in this position, every legal move has been played.
You talking about today? That was
Yesterday.
because I was there when he was talking about Putin.
Right, you were there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what White did. He played Bishop E3. Now, if you're a super grandmaster, I'm not saying you are, this is a good way to have a quick draw. And in fact, I wanted to make fun of like Hikaru, who has a lot of quick draws. This is the famous game. I think it was David Howell, but don't quote me. David Howell versus Hikaru in the Millionaire Open, although it might not have been Howell. And they did the repeating line, knight here, bishop here, knight here, bishop here. And Ashley was furious. And Hikaru's like, well, I'm black. And Howell's like, I'm Howell. Although it might not have been Howell, but you get the idea. The don't quote me on that was a Nirvana reference, by the way. What song?
Which part? What's the line again?
Don't quote me on that.
Oh.
And I'll explain it. Thanks, I am Rix.
I don't know. Hey, Luis. how's
Thanks
it
again,
going?
Rix.
In Mexico. Hola.
It's from I'm on a Plane, and it's an inside joke. The band would always say, "Don't quote me on that," when they would say something weird. So you would just say, "Don't quote me on that." Okay. So E6, E6, E5, and knight G4 are the three common moves. I think Matt Larson's played both. All right. E6, F3, never play F3. This is called the English attack. And the reason it's called that is in every opening where white is an English grandmaster and a Sicilian, they do that. And so whenever there's a Najdorf, they like to call it a variation of the Najdorf. So they call this the English attack. Okay, now, the difference between this English attack and the English patient is this isn't boring. Okay, so whenever white plays F3 in any Sicilian, you want to castle queenside, and you want to play for G4 and stop knight G4. If you're going to castle kingside, you don't want to play F3. You want to play F4 or not move your F pawn. The point of this is, the reason you played bishop E3 is you can castle quicker, and you can play G4 quicker, and you prevent knight G4 in case of queen D2. If you live in India and you want to buy stuff online, then it's quicker. I can't roll my R's, but good joke. Okay. It's just a Seinfeld. I never saw the English patient, although I might have. And that's just because Elaine hated it and said it was boring. Then she was fired. Did you see the English patient? You're a woman. And?
I couldn't stand it.
Yeah. Karen doesn't like chick flick women's movies usually.
Yeah.
Not usually. It's not her thing.
Not usually.
What's the movie all women like? I didn't see it. Every woman who's ever seen it likes it. It's where I didn't see the movie, but you're getting letters from the future, and they're like love story.
I wouldn't go
What's that called?
that.
The Notebook?
No.
No?
Maybe.
Notebook.
Yeah, I wouldn't see that.
If you saw it, you'd be furious.
It's just not my kind of movie.
Yeah, it's a chick flick.
But
Yeah.
I think it wasn't Doris Lessing, the author, which
They don't know what an author means.
pretty well respected.
All right, now, did you see the movie where the guy's stripping the whole movie? It's about male strippers.
It doesn't sound like something I'd see.
Yeah, and then the guy in it who's famous. He's the famous guy. You didn't see that? That's also for women.
What's it called?
Magic Mike, not Michael. Magic Mike. You didn't see that?
No.
Who's the guy in Magic Mike? He's a famous actor.
Oh, Golden Notebook. Yeah, Golden Notebook. I got the two things mixed up.
Yeah, there it is.
Farnsley.
Channing Tatum.
Thank you, Farnsley. Yeah, those are two different stories.
Channing Tatum is in Magic Mike.
Yeah, that's just not the kind of movie I would see.
Yay, $15.
Yeah, those are two different stories. My bad. Doris Lessing was a well-respected. That explains why they're different. Doris Lessing was very well-respected.
The movie all women liked was Amelie.
I did like Amelie.
You're a woman.
You
Yeah,
liked Amelie.
I
you
did.
See it?
That was the cartoon.
No.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact plot, but
I'm gonna get a Perrier because the guy told me to.
wasn't Juliette Binoche the one that was in that?
I thought that was like Water for Chocolate.
No, it wasn't Juliette Binoche. I can't remember now. It's been
There's
a
a
while
movie
since-
with Juliette
Oh,
Binoche.
Audrey Tautou. Sorry, yeah.
What's Juliette Binoche and?
Yeah, Amelie's
Oh no, it's
really good.
Chocolat. It's just Chocolat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audrey Tautou. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Who looks better when they're stripping? Channing Tatum or Matthew McConaughey?
I mean, I can barely think what Channing Tatum even looks like.
Terrible.
So,
Rachel Weisz is great.
Brad Pitt. Matthew McConaughey seems like he's in decent shape.
Have you seen the famous skit on SNL where there's a dance-off between two strippers to see who joins Chippendales or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, who's the guy who says Roadhouse? Who's that? Who's the guy who's in Roadhouse? R.I.P. He was in Donnie Darko, too. He's the guy who Patrick Swayze.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Swayze, and he was in a stripper's outfit, and he looked really buff. And his opponent was Chris Farley.
Oh.
Right, that's a great scene. And here's the best part of the scene, which none of you understand or will ever understand, is that when they take turns, Okay, and then it's Chris Farley's turn. Patrick Swayze's looking at Chris Farley really worried. He's like, damn, I can't beat that guy. The look of worry on Patrick Swayze's face is very funny. That's good acting. He's like, yeah, I can't compete with Chris Farley. Terrible. Okay, so
Yeah, we did get a little sidetracked. Sorry about that.
Queen D2, correct. Now, in some Sicilians, but not this one, sometimes people play Bishop C4, Queen E2, and they avoid F3 because their queen on E2 stops Knight G4. I can't stress this enough, although I could. If black plays Knight G4 in a Sicilian and it's a good move, white did something wrong. So you can't play Queen D2 and they play Knight G4. So you either play F3, Bishop E2, H3, or Bishop C4 and Queen E2 so that you control the G4 square. Not just to stop this, but also you might want to play G4, G5 later. And so the variation I play when we have the Sozin, then my opponents are always playing Bishop here, Queen here, castles, G4, Papa John's, which you've seen on the stream a lot.
So does white castle queen side here?
Yeah, I like that. You're a gold digger because you married Ben Feingold. That's good. He died after having to carry David Spade through 4 movies.
That's kind of funny.
Who's less funny, David Spade or somebody else? Probably like Jerry Van Dyke, but that doesn't count.
I haven't seen him in a whole lot.
David Spade was the answer from Fraud With. Yeah. There's a thing on the internet. It's an interview. The interviewer's like somebody famous. I don't know who. And he's interviewing, might be like Conan. I don't know. And he's interviewing David Spade and who's the guy who died a few months ago? Who's the guy who died a few months ago? You know, the famous comedian. Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Okay. And Norm Macdonald is making one joke after another, and it's the funniest thing ever. And David Spade's sitting there like a schlub. I mean, like anybody could have been sitting next to Norm Macdonald. It would have been the same. Nothing funny. Nothing. Didn't say anything. Norm Macdonald just was the funniest person ever, and David Spade's like, I'm not as funny as you. So I don't know. Yeah. And so forth. Betty White? Go Betty White. Yeah. R.I.P. Okay. Queen D2, Knight C6. Now, in a lot of Najdorfs, they don't play Knight C6 because they want to play B5. And then Knight C6, you can't play B5 because Knight's on C6. So they often will play B5 and put the knight here. And one advantage of the knight being here is it has these 3 excellent squares. And when you go to these squares, you can play Knight C4 sometimes attacking that. So imagine like B5, knight here, knight here, knight here. Yeah. So this transposes into a Schwanigan instead of a Najdorf because the knight is here. So actually, I could have black in this position by transposition. I could. Okay, because I play Knight C6 instead of A6. Castles. Thanks, Fen Beingold. Norm was the funniest man on the planet. I don't know about that. He was, top 100. Okay. Bishop. All right, so black is playing in a shallow and pedantic manner. One of the good things about the Open Sicilian is that if you know what you're doing and the other guy doesn't know what they're doing, you win immediately. It's not like you win a pawn up endgame. So, yeah, I didn't have the analysis. I was going to say white's much better now. See? I didn't turn on the analysis, but I play chess. Yeah, you see how white's like black played normal, looks okay. And then the engine says like white's winning. Because that's not how you play. You got to get counterplay immediately because you're so passive here. But if you can play B5, B4, and one of the other advantages of playing F3 early is if they play Bishop B7, they can't harass you on D5. But this is too passive. There's no counterplay for black. So this is why white's playing this way. Now Matt Larson asked G4, correct? Yeah. Now imagine, okay, just like John Lennon, imagine I play here.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things you often do in this opening is when they play here, you have d7 for your knight.
All right.
Then your knight has all these good squares. Sometimes you even play knight e5, knight a5, and go here. So bishop d7 is a random legal move, and it doesn't meet the needs of the position. So if I was black here, I would hope I could play knight takes and bishop c6, so my knight could go here, but I can't. Because when something takes here, probably the bishop, then this pawn isn't defended. So after like knight takes, bishop here, g5, you have to play knight h5. Oh, God. So already the engine's like, I hate black. Because black is just, see, now, I've discussed this on many streams. There's two things you can do in the opening. You can do like me and just play random nonsense. Okay, that's less study. And then your opponent's like, what is this random nonsense? Then you play your opponent and the better player wins. Or you can know all theory, like all the top players in the world. So then when they play me, they beat the hell out of me if I try to play theory. If I don't play theory, they have a big advantage immediately. So when I play the top players in the world, that's not good. Okay, but you're not playing the top players in the world. So for you guys, if you play some really well-known opening, like the Najdorf, and you're like, okay, I know 5 moves of theory. That means I move 10, you're lost. So you're playing something your opponent knows really well and you don't. So if you're going to play sharp openings, complicated openings, you have to know more than they do. And it's amazing when you watch the World Championship and they know everything. What's also amazing, and you'll never understand it, but I'm glad that the guy's name is Vasil. Vasily Ivanchuk knows every opening all the way to the end with either color. Ivanchuk's insane. He could play any opening with either color and know everything. And the reason people are 2,800 and top 10 in the world is all they do is study chess. They do nothing else. And that's the reason Hikaru's really, 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 really good at blitz and really, 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 really good at bullet and, pretty good at rapid, top 5 in the world, maybe better. But at slow chess, Hikaru doesn't spend 20 hours a day studying chess. So his openings are suspicious, which doesn't matter at all in rapid, blitz, and bullet. Slow chess, if he's not getting an advantage with white, he's not going to be 2,800 because he's playing other people who are 2,800. But that doesn't matter when you play like online or blitz. That's ridiculous. So if you're going to play sharp Sicilian, and by the way, when I say Hikaru doesn't know an opening, that means he knows it 1,000,000 times better than you. That's what it means. But if he knew the opening, it would be 1,000,000,000 times. I read this on the internet today, or maybe yesterday. I already knew it, but most people don't understand the difference between 1,000,000 and 1,000,000,000, right? They think if their friend has $10 million, he's the richest guy in the world. And then Bill Gates and Elon Musk and other people are on the floor laughing, right? Okay, the difference is 1,000,000 seconds, okay, is a few days. It's like 11 days. And 1,000,000,000 seconds is like 32 years. So 1,000,000,000 is a lot more than 1,000,000. You know what I mean? No, you don't know what I mean.
All right, so let's get back to the chess here. So I have a question.
Yeah.
So is there any way that black is going to castle king side?
Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
See, because when I very first started playing chess, I played the Sicilian because I didn't know better. And I didn't study it. I just saw other people. And I ended up playing the Najdorf and I'm not sure how to say it, Schwenningen and even the Dragon. But it seems like I always got pawn stormed.
Right.
And I never knew how to handle it correctly.
Right. You have to learn tons of theory. Yeah. Like, I play this Sicilian, and I play where they castle opposite sides, and I know a lot of theory.
Yeah.
So if my opponent knows more than me, then I just get destroyed. Like when I play Christopher Yu. There's a lot of games in 1 minute and 3 minute that I've played online against GMs and IMs who know the Sicilian better than I do in those variations, and I just lose immediately. Terrible.
Well, I thought that when there's going to be opposite side castling, that in general, black should also be pawn storming.
Correct.
But they're not.
That's why you don't play knight here early, because you can't play b5. By the way, b5 is one of the engine moves here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Problem is, which is the problem with most people. Obviously, this isn't a slow game, and these guys aren't GMs, but problem is when you're attacking and they're attacking, like g4, g5 is an obvious way of attacking, and you have to figure out what to do about it. And black is just developing his pieces, la, 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 la. And then when white does A, he's like, terrible.
Right.
But that's what's going to happen when they play f3, especially if you're playing Matt Larson. If you're going to play the Najdorf, and you're going to opposite side castle, and you're going to be out of theory on move 6, you're going to lose a lot. So if you want to be out of theory on move 6, I'm not saying you do, but if you do, you should play openings your opponent doesn't know. And you can't beat NJ Crispy. He's too good, right? Because he gave me $50. Okay. So B5.
Hey, they did.
Yeah, okay. H4. H4 seems unnecessary, especially since you might use the H4 square for like your queen or something. But probably, I mean, H4 is okay. Yeah, the engine wants to play G5 and then put the bishop here. All right, but H4 is fine. Nothing wrong with that. B4. 92, good. Queen C7, good. Knight takes is good. Bishop takes is good. And you took a pawn. Now, taking this pawn is a bad move. And for further details, there's a very famous game where queen takes b4 was played, similar position, and white got crushed. Now, I hope you're sitting down, because when I tell you who was white, you won't believe me. It's the last super GM you think would be white here. Kramnik. Kramnik rarely plays e4. He never opposite side castles. He never plays like this. And he was playing Topalov, and he took this pawn, and Topalov destroyed him. Taking that pawn actually helps black, because you're opening the b file, and you're doing this. This pawn actually prevents black from attacking. So what you want to do is play knight d4, making your knight good, hopefully winning this bishop, or g5 and continue. This detour you took, when you opposite side castle, taking this pawn doesn't necessarily help you. And the engine says you're close to winning here, and now you're not even better. Okay? And now black has the prototypical Sicilian move, which equalizes, which he did not play. Yeah, look up Kramnik versus Topalov in a Sicilian. It's probably the only time Kramnik was white in a Sicilian against Topalov. What do you want to play in this Sicilian, irrespective of the position? This is the move you're trying to play, and you never can play it.
I don't know. I never knew it very well.
D5. That attacks the queen, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
And then this pawn's attacked 700 times.
Oh, you're attacking. I would have done that because attacking.
Right. Okay. And after this move, the engine says it's equal, but his opponent played rook b8. Now, here's something nobody understands but me. And after I tell you, you still won't understand it. I'm going to ask you.
All right.
In your opinion, is this queen good here or bad here?
It's bad there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, that's a scary square to be
Correct,
on.
correct.
Pawn move
So
in,
rook b8 forces the queen to a good square. Do you see the engine playing rook b8? The answer is she can't see any of the moves. But no, rook b8's not a move. That queen sitting there is great. So this is the first move. This is the second move. And this is the third move of the engine. The engine's second move is absurd. But it threatens bishop takes e4. So I don't know. Okay, d5 is the right move. All right, now you're back in business. Yeah. Queen d2, always retreat. Probably queen c3 is better. Yeah, queen c3 pins the bishop. And then like you're going that way. You're defending your b pawn. Queen c3 can't be attacked. That's probably better. Queen d2, now this is a little weak. Queen b7 is correct. Now we're threatening checkmate. Bishop d4, that's legal. Okay, e5 is a move you don't want to play because it weakens d5 and f5, in particular f5, because when I go here, my knight can come in here. And if you do play e5, you have to play d5. You can't just play this and when your pawn was here and be like, yay, because you're giving away all these squares and you're getting nothing. Yeah, so now this is weak, this square is weak, and my knight has the f5 square, which I didn't before, and you can't play d5 because your center is all hanging. Knight d7, that's legal. Knight g3, good. g6, h5, very good play from white. Surprising. By the way, the engine is playing the crazy d5 every move. It says that black's losing, but it's still the best. That's how big, you know, it's not great, but, you know, you got to do something. I want to see what I do after takes. This is not taking. Bishop a3. See, he unleashed the latent potential of the bishop. Now the engine wants to play rook here and run away. That's why, see, in these positions, the engine's always saying play king b1, because if the guy ever plays bishop here, ever, then we play b3. Yeah. But after bishop a3, we can't play b3 because it's illegal. Also, after king here, we can put the knight on b3 or d3 if we want to defend this. And we could play b3 with safety and so forth. Okay, but he didn't play d5. h6. Okay, if I showed this game to a super grandmaster, and then I said black played here, he would just leave. He would like go to the doctor because he doesn't feel good. Right. That's the most nonsensical move of all time. If I was black, I would play pawn here now. Terrible. Also, black isn't castling. Black's moving the pawns on the king side, helping white. Boo. Also, as Paula Abdul would say, that move straight up loses a pawn. Now, the reason he played it is obvious. He wants to play bishop here, winning the queen. Yeah. Okay, unfortunately, taking this wins because the queen sacrifice wins, but you probably were afraid of that. Oh, you weren't afraid of that. Good. Yeah, this is actually a blunder now, and the game's over. Now, here's what's funny about that. After this, this is the funniest thing Karen's ever heard. The engine doesn't take the queen because it knows how losing that is. So it just plays like random legal move.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right. Well, because taking the queen gets the goddamn bejesus beaten out of you. Okay. And for these kinds of queen sacrifices, you can see the game Tall won, my favorite Tall game, in a simul, where he sacked all his pieces and queen, and it was great. Anyway, NJ Crispy's like, I sacked my queen. The fact that he gets 37 pieces and has forced mate and takes everything, that doesn't matter. He sacked his queen. Now, as far as I can tell, White's probably mating black here, so it's not good. Okay, that's the safest queen sacrifice ever because you get more material for your queen, you're queening a pawn, and you're mating your opponent. You can see after takes check, if the king goes up, we have knight f5 check and rook takes d6 check. God damn. Okay, so this is the good thing NJ Crispy did. Now, first of all, it's possible, we'll have to get a lie detector. We have to. That when Crispy took this, he didn't see bishop g5. Obviously, in the chase, of course I saw bishop g5. Okay, even if he didn't, he would say he did. Right? But I think he did see it, and he saw that the sacrifice was winning. Not even a queen sacrifice. Right, that's why if you played king b1 earlier, but he egged his opponent on. I don't egg my opponent on because I'm a vegan. Now, if you have black, and you play here, White's forced to do this, and you're forcing your opponent to beat you. Not good. Now, if he takes this, rook takes h6, you know, White's just completely winning. So in this game, black made several mistakes that were just one-move threats. Queen b7 threatening mate wasn't a mistake. e5 threatening the bishop was, and h6 threatening this was. Black doesn't have a plan, which is what Karen wanted to do. What's my plan? Black just played for one-move threats, and he didn't realize he was playing NJ Crispy. Yay, 3001, a space advantage. Okay. Now, if he plays knight f8, right, which is a better move, then g7's annoying. God damn. Not only am I threatening everything, you can't even stop me from just queening by pushing my pawn. And this says White's plus 26. But he played king here, knight f5, and rook mate, as I explained earlier. Yeah. It's a good thing black got mated because his position really sucked. Right? White could have played other moves and black would be in agony, like g7. After g7, queen takes b2 is the best move because it stops mate temporarily. Also, rook h6 is forced mate. But obviously, mate in 1 is good. So black never got an attack. As soon as you played bishop d4, bishop c3, that was it. And then black never castled. Black just kept making pawn moves, weakening his king and his position. And you have the 2 bishops. And he got fixated on one-move threats. Ooh, I'll play this, I'll play this. Then when you stopped, he's like, damn. So a good game from you.
Yeah. What's your rating in J. Crispy?
Looking at that game, he's about 1920.
I loved all that.
I have spoken.
I couldn't see the mate. I could see that there was a good attack. I couldn't quite see the mate. Then I saw the knight check, but I couldn't see the rook on d6 was mate.
Yeah, his opponent was like 1650. I'm just guessing those ratings. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm 2300. What are you talking about? I figure he's not 2300 because, you know, nobody is on my stream. He's 1800 rapid. I was close.
Yeah, I like that. That was pretty cool.